Hi everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. And sadly, what we're looking at right now is the last new G.I. Joe product that has been released and been announced for the time being. From Wave 2 of the G.I. Joe 50th anniversary, this is the Social Clash set featuring Lady J and the Baroness. And I have to say, knowing the history of the characters, this is a pretty good matchup. Both were basically educated in the same circles, and who knows, may have even gone to the same kind of schools and colleges. Other possible names I thought would have been good for this set would have been Catfight, but apparently that might have been a little offensive, and or the Styles Clash, since you have a highfalutin young woman and one that's not afraid to get a little down and dirty. Um, but yeah, other than that, we're going to pause right now and take a more in-depth look at each figure. Starting us off will be Lady J. Lady J comes to us courtesy of the G.I. Joe concept case and the most recent G.I. Joe Collectors Club convention, otherwise known as JoeCon, where this same exact figure was done up in Night Force colors, available carded or bagged. I think actually just carded, but this is a very nice update to the figure. If you remember the 25th anniversary, it took a couple waves before we got a real solid cartoon Lady J. And while I feel uh, that figure, which I think was part of one of the second or third 5 packs, is still the definitive, at this point, cartoon Lady J, this version tends to best exemplify the design and character traits of Lady J from the comic. Um, One thing I also enjoy more is that, unlike the Baroness, which we'll get to in a moment, this figure tends to use a stockier female build, which I think is a good example, but also it feels a lot better to handle um, and less fragile. With that said, unfortunately, there are some issues with the plastic, as we've heard throughout the whole of the 50th anniversary line, where it's just like a very softer plastic, not as soft as the Marvel Universe, but you can feel the difference. The latest episode of What's on Joe Mind, which we actually talk about this comparing the 98 Joes to the 94 Joes and what have you. Also, I just don't like the paint, well, I actually should say lack of paint used on the skin tone. The skin tone parts were actually molded, I believe, in this very pale white, and it just brings out how soft the features are in the face. Other than that, it's stereotypical olive green uniform that Lady J would be known for. Some great brown web gear. Articulation is, what I would call a Pursuit Cobra standard. Ball jointed head, universal shoulders, 90-degree bend at the elbow, swivel at the wrist, no extended wrist articulation, ab crunch that is hindered by the web gear, ball jointed hips, double jointed knees, and forward and back, ankle articulation with a swivel, no ankle pivot. Um, and for accessories, we'll get to in a little bit later. So yeah, now let's take a look at the Baroness. Sometimes referred to as Anastasia de Cobray. The Baroness, I would say, is one of the most iconic characters from the history of G.I. Joe, as well as being one of the most iconic female characters from 80s cartoon. And, you know, that's not saying much when you figure it out that most of the female characters from 80s cartoons came from G.I. Joe, and there were a lot of strong female characters. Baroness has had a hard time since the 25th anniversary getting a decent figure made. The original 25th anniversary Baroness was just a bad sculpt with a bad looking. Thankfully, there was a single pack released that was supposed to be a cartoon style in a blue suit with a new head that was done phenomenal. Interesting enough, the figure was redone again, making the suit black, which you see here, but with a new head, the head that we have right here. And then, of course, there was the two versions of Rise of Cobra, which were made more to look like the actress Sienna Miller. The first one, not so much, but the second one, coming very close. Unfortunately, a lot of people have said that really Hasbro should have stuck with that second head from the single pack with the blue suit version. And to be honest, I think I kind of prefer that one a little more. And like I said, this is basically a straight re-release with some paint alterations from the 5-pack Cobra set. I think it was like the second one released. Because of that, there is some issue with her accessories, namely these pistols that she has in her hand have pegs that were designed to be used by the Pursuit of Cobra, the Rise of Cobra figure, that's just not present. In terms of articulation, there is a ball-jointed head, but as severely limited by the hair. And unfortunately, much like Lady J, her face is molded in this very pale white plastic that accentuates the softness of the molding and really almost makes the face look knockoff quality. Shoulders are universal with a 90-degree bend at the elbow. Wrist swivel, but since she's wearing these longer gloves, it's the whole gauntlet swivels. No ab crunch or anything like that due to the nature of the sculpt. I'm a little disappointed by that. Ball jointed hips, double jointed knees, and a forward and back ankle articulation with a swivel, no pivot. And I really would have liked to have seen the ankle pivot due to the shoes that she's molded in and wearing. Really not much to say about the figure. I mean, this is the classic black and silver outfit. Unfortunately, I can't say being the 50th anniversary, this is the best version of the Baroness we've gotten. Then again, if you want to throw her in a HISS tank, since she is known for driving HISS tanks, you can go ahead and do that. Like most of the 50th anniversary figures, the Social Clash set comes with far more accessories than the figures can be displayed with. Lady J, for the most part, comes with the Retaliation Lady J weapons assortment. 4 assault rifles, a rocket, an RPG, backpack for shells, the original version of her uh, uh, javelin launcher, which was never used, as well as 2 versions of M16s. And now moving over to the Baroness, this is, like I said, that comes with the 2 laser pistols from the Rise of Cobra, but also includes the suitcase, but none of the nanolite shells that were in the suitcase. And this contraption here, which came with the version 2 figure, that was designed to hook up to the jet as sort of like a repelling line. Without it, that's utterly pointless. She does come with a small machine gun, which I think is intended for her. Her classic looking rifle, which there are 2 in the set, one for Lady J, one for her. And then I guess to be shared amongst them are a series of edged weapons, 2 knives and a machete. Again, since neither one has a sheath, I guess that's up in the air. I mean, have them fight it out in knife style. But yeah, like I said, it's a nice assortment of accessories. Although I think Lady J comes out ahead in terms of practical, usable accessories. All in all, I think this is a good set to recommend based solely on the Lady J figure. While neither one is a standout, fantastic figure, it is what it is. And seeing as how some of those older versions of Lady J and the Baroness might be a little hard to find, these make for good substitutes. I'm really hoping somewhere down the line we get a brilliant version of the Baroness that encompasses the classic animated style of the figure with the full slate of articulation, ankle pivots, wrist pivots, and the same for Lady J, that we can just say are the ultimate definitive versions of these characters. This is your old pal Chuck for Lady J and Baroness. Yes, I'm having a cat fight. Happy New Year. I hope you enjoy the new title card. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time.